The Galactic Council waited in silent tension. Their meeting chamber, an enormous hall built inside a hollowed asteroid, glowed with cold white light. Every seat was filled. Every species stared at the same floating map in the center of the room. A blue planet called Earth. For centuries, Earth had stayed quiet. Too quiet. No ambassadors. No trade ships. No signals. Nothing. Most members believed the humans had destroyed themselves long ago. But in the last 40 years, Earth had changed. Strange energy readings. New satellites. A sudden increase in space activity. Something was happening down there. And the Council did not like surprises. High Chancellor Vorex slammed his hand against the crystal table. Earth is becoming powerful again, he growled. We must control them before they become a threat. The chamber murmured with fear. The memories of the old wars were still alive, the wars where early humans fought like wild storms, refusing to surrender even when hopelessly outnumbered. The Draxian ambassador shook her head. But we have no proof they are hostile. They don't need to be hostile, Vorex replied. Humans are unpredictable, and unpredictable is dangerous. The Council voted, and the decision was almost unanimous. Send a control directive to Earth. Force them to follow Council laws. A strange chill passed through the room as the message was prepared. It was not a request. It was an order, a demand for obedience. A silver communication sphere rose above the table. Ancient symbols appeared across its surface. Light pulsed, turning brighter and brighter until it shot a beam of information directly toward Earth. Directive sent, the technician announced. The Council members relaxed. Their decision was final. Earth would obey. But fate had different plans. Only 11 minutes later, alarms exploded across the chamber. Red lights flashed. The communication sphere trembled. Energy sparked from its surface. What is happening? Someone shouted. The returning signal hit the room like a shockwave. The silver sphere glowed bright gold, something it had never done before. The technicians panicked, trying to control it, but the system locked itself. It's returning the message, a scientist yelled. But that's impossible, Vorex snapped. The sphere cannot return outgoing transmissions. Yet it was happening. The message the Council had sent was coming back, and it was not alone. New data had attached itself to the signal. Unknown symbols. Unknown code. A cold silence fell as the floating map changed. All eyes widened. What is that? Whispered the Yikan High Priest. No idea, the technician replied. The code is not Council-made. It is not from any known species. A deeper fear crawled through the chamber. A fear no one wanted to say out loud. Did humans intercept the signal? Someone finally whispered. The room froze. If humans had intercepted it and returned it, it meant something unthinkable. They were watching. The silver sphere suddenly cracked with a sharp sound. The glowing symbols rearranged themselves into a single sentence written in ancient galactic standard, a language no species had used in thousands of years. Two chilling words appeared. We heard. Vorex stepped back as if struck. This is a threat, he said with breathless anger. Humans are challenging us. But the technicians were already pulling up more data. What about the scouts we sent near Earth? One asked. Their last report arrived 5 hours ago. The room went silent again. The scouts had sent no new updates. Not even a distress call. Vorex ordered a full status check. Moments later, the technician's voice shook. My lords, the scouts are gone. What do you mean gone? Vorex demanded. No wreckage. No explosion. Their signals simply ended. Fear turned into panic. Some ambassadors stood up, shouting that Earth had attacked. Others denied it. Some called it an accident. Some called it a warning. The floating map blinked again. A new marker appeared near Earth's orbit. Not a ship. Not a satellite. Something else. A pulse of unknown energy expanded from the marker, rippling across the map. Every scanner that tried to read it failed instantly. Then a second message flashed across the screen. Cold, calm, final. Do not interfere. Vorex's voice cracked with rage. They dare to order us? We are the Council. We control the galaxy. But his voice was lost in the rising fear around him. Something else was happening. The energy pulse spreading from Earth had crossed light years in moments. Council systems began to flicker. Old machines shut down. Even the map froze. "What is Earth using?" a scientist cried. Nobody had an answer. The lights dimmed. A final scan came through before the system crashed. A massive object was rising from Earth's orbit. Something unknown. Something powerful. And it carried a human signature. For the first time in centuries, the Council felt something they had forgotten. Not anger. Not pride. Fear. Earth had heard their message. And Earth was answering. Panic slowly spread across the Galactic Council's headquarters. After the mysterious energy burst from Earth, the meeting chamber felt smaller, colder, and far more dangerous. Every species sensed the same thing. Something had awakened on Earth. Something the Council did not understand. Chancellor Vorex tried to regain control. "Enough fear. We act with strength. Humans cannot threaten us." But his voice was weaker now. Even he felt the pressure of the unknown. The Council ordered emergency reports from nearby sectors. What they received only deepened the fear. A crystal screen lit up, showing the first report. Sector 9. Silent. Sector 11. Silent. Sector 12. Scout team vanished. Sector 14. Strange energy spikes detected. The same pattern repeated across the map. Communication dropouts. Missing patrols. Strange energy pulses appearing and disappearing faster than scanners could track. The Brow commander stepped forward, his long metal limbs shaking. "This is not random. It is spreading outward from Earth. Every wave is stronger. And every wave is coded," added a scientist. "But the code is too old. No system matches it." The room fell quiet. Old code. Ancient signals. Something forgotten. The Draxian ambassador finally said what everyone feared. Did the humans discover a lost archive? Something older than the Council? Gasps filled the chamber. The Council normally controlled all ancient knowledge. No species was allowed to study the deeper past. It was forbidden. But Earth had always been different. Isolation forced them to explore their own planet. Who knew what they had found? Even worse, who knew what they had awakened? Before the Council could decide anything, a second communication crystal began glowing. It was a distress call, weak, broken, full of static. A figure appeared on the screen, a Council spy stationed near Earth. His voice shook with terror. "This is Field Agent Terran. I have stolen a fragment of human data. I repeat, I have stolen a..." The screen glitched. His face blurred. The signal twisted as if something was pulling it apart. "It is not like anything I have seen. This is ancient code. Humans should not." The screen cut to black. Everyone stared. Nobody breathed. Vorex slammed the table. "Trace his location." "We can't," the technician whispered. His ship vanished. One moment it existed, the next, nothing. The room filled with whispers. Are humans erasing our ships? Do they have new weapons? Are they warning us? What if this is only the beginning? Suddenly the crystal flickered again. Terran's final stolen fragment appeared. A single file. Small. Almost empty. Just 2 words. "Stand down." The hall erupted in shouts. "It's a threat. They are mocking us. They are showing power. Humans think they can order us?" But a few quiet voices spoke another truth. "No, they are warning us." The silence afterward was sharp. The Council's best codebreakers examined the message. Their hands shook as they spoke. This writing style, it is from before the First Age. Before any Council. Before any known empires. Only the galaxy's creators used this format. A shiver passed through everyone. Perfect silence filled the room. Then another report arrived. This one from the far watchposts near Earth. The report was short. Only one line. "A large object has left Earth's orbit." Vorex frowned. "What type of object?" "We don't know," the officer replied. "Our scanners are blocked." The object disables every sensor before we can measure it. The screen updated with a rough outline. A massive shape. Dark. Silent. No engines visible. No windows. Just a shadow moving through space. Is it a ship? Someone whispered. It is too large for a ship. A station? No. It moves too fast. Then what is it? The officer swallowed hard. We don't know. It is heading toward Council space. Worry turned into terror. No species dared to speak. They watched the floating projection as the unknown object crossed the star routes without slowing. Vorex tried to remain calm. Launch scanners from every direction. Study it. We tried, the technician said. But the object shuts down all scanning systems. Even the ones that do not exist on our maps. Nobody understood that part. The Council was supposed to control all technology in the galaxy. Nothing should exist that they didn't recognize. And yet, here it was. Moving freely. Breaking rules. Changing everything. The object passed by a Council patrol fleet. All 19 ships powered down instantly. Their systems went dark. Not destroyed. Just silenced. A second after the object passed, the ships powered back on. With new star charts uploaded into their systems. Charts the Council had never seen. Updated. Corrected. Perfect. The object was rewriting the galaxy. Aliens panicked. Some screamed to declare war. Some begged to run. Some wanted peace. The Council chamber became a storm of fear and confusion. But Earth stayed silent. No words. No demands. Only the unknown object. Coming closer. A final report arrived. The object is almost within Council territory, the officer said. Its energy signature matches one thing. The room leaned forward. What does it match? Vorex asked. The officer slowly exhaled. Human origin. Every member froze. A human-made something, too strong to scan, too fast to stop, was now crossing into their space. Earth had spoken without speaking. The Council finally understood. This was only the beginning. The mysterious object moved through space like a silent shadow. No lights. No signals. No engine trails. Yet it traveled faster than any known ship in the galaxy. Inside the Galactic Council chamber, tension felt like a heavy storm pressing against every mind. The projection in the center of the room showed the object entering Council-controlled routes, paths guarded by thousands of patrol craft. Not one patrol dared approach it. High Chancellor Vorex demanded updates every second. What is it made of? What powers it? How does it move without engines? Every answer was the same. We don't know. The unknown object was rewriting the Council's understanding of science. It was not supposed to exist. No species had ever built anything like it. The oldest records, the earliest star maps, the most ancient blueprints, none of them matched this thing from Earth. Still, it kept coming. A deep hollow alarm echoed through the chamber. Object approaching the outer defense line, a guard announced. The outer defense line was a massive fleet of automated sentry stations, positioned to stop or destroy any enemy ships. The stations carried weapons strong enough to cut moons in half. Let the defense system scan it, Vorex ordered. But when the stations attempted to scan the object, they shut down instantly. Every single one. Lights off. Weapons cold. Systems dead. The unknown ship simply passed through, untouched. The Council chamber erupted with disbelief. That is impossible. Is it using a field? Is this some old human trick? No ship can disable a whole defense line. The Draxian ambassador trembled. This is beyond human technology. Everything humans do is beyond control, Vorex snapped. That is why they must be stopped. But his voice lacked strength. Another report arrived. This time, from Fleet Command. Chancellor, our cruisers attempted communication. The object does not answer. It changed nothing. It simply passed by. Fleet Command officers were not calm types. But even they sounded frightened. Something else, the officer continued. When the object passed, its gravity signature bent space. Not like a jump drive. More like, The space around it obeys its own rules. What is its destination? Vorex asked. The officer hesitated. The object is heading directly toward Council Space Hub 7. A cold silence filled the hall. Hub 7 was the Council's most important base, a gigantic station where political decisions, military orders, and star route commands were controlled. If the object reached Hub 7, it could threaten the heart of the Council. A new hologram opened, a closer image of the object. For the first time they saw its shape clearly. Long, dark, smooth like obsidian stone. No windows, no wings, no engines. A living shadow gliding through the stars. It moves like it is drifting, said a scientist, but the speed is too precise. It changes direction without slowing. That means it is not drifting. It is choosing every motion. The Yikan priest leaned forward. Is it a ship? Or something else? Many wondered the same. Ships had limits. Machines had rules. But this thing behaved like none of them. As the object approached Hub 7, the Council sent a fleet of 72 warships. The best they had. Ships equipped with weapons meant to crush entire invasions. The fleet formed a wall in front of the oncoming shadow. The Council chamber watched in cold dread. Open a channel. Vorex ordered. The communicator officer tried. Nothing. The object drifted toward them. Send warnings. No response. Prepare to fire. The warships locked onto the object. For a moment, everything froze. Then the object stopped moving. Every screen flickered. Every light flashed. Every sensor failed. A single pulse of soft white energy expanded from the dark hull. Not loud. Not violent. Just a breath of power. It touched the 72 warships. And every warship shut down instantly. Weapons offline. Engines offline. Shields gone. Lights dead. Like toys dropped by a giant hand. Gasps echoed through the Council chamber. Ambassadors clutched their seats. Some whispered prayers. The object moved again, sliding silently between the disabled ships. No damage done. No destruction. Almost as if it chose mercy. Hub 7 sent its last desperate scan. It is a ship, the scanner officer whispered, but not made for war alone. Its energy patterns don't match any weapon system. It is built for something different. What is different? Vorex demanded. The answer arrived from the officer's shaking voice. It is built for judgment. The hall fell silent. Nobody understood what that meant. But everyone felt it. The ship was not here to attack. It was here for something deeper. The final message from Hub 7 arrived. The ship has opened a door. Something is stepping out. The projection zoomed in. A single figure walked out of the dark ship's surface. A human. No armor. No escort. No fear. Just calm. Steady purpose. The first human seen in Council space in hundreds of years. Hub 7's report ended with one chilling line. The human envoy has arrived. Hub 7 had faced many threats across the ages. Rogue fleets, pirate kings, black hole storms, even star eaters. But nothing prepared it for the silent dread now filling its halls. Every screen showed the same image. A massive dark ship floating above the station like an ancient titan. It carried no weapons. No banners. No demands. Just a presence that made even veteran soldiers feel small. And then, the door opened. From the ship's smooth black surface, a single pathway formed, shifting like liquid metal. A human stepped forward, descending with calm, steady steps. No armor. No helmet. No weapons. He looked ordinary. Too ordinary. Short brown hair. Dark eyes. Simple gray clothing. But something in his presence made even the strongest alien step back. The Hub 7 commander whispered. He came alone, but it feels like an entire army stands behind him. Security teams surrounded the entrance hall. Blasters ready. Shields up. Every warrior silently prayed they would not need to fire. The human walked until he stood only a few steps from the front line. He raised his hand slowly, not in surrender but in peace. I come to talk, he said. His voice echoed through the hall. Calm. Steady. But every word felt heavy, like the air carried something more than sound. The commander stepped forward. "You trespass on Council territory. State your identity." The human nodded politely. "I am Elias Ward, Envoy of Earth." The title alone froze the entire hall. Earth had not sent an envoy in over 400 years. The commander lowered his weapon a fraction. "What is your purpose here?" Elias looked around the hall as if measuring every corner, every guard, every trembling hand. "Earth received your message," he said quietly. "And we understood your intention." Several guards looked at one another. The Council's message had been a control directive, an order forcing Earth to accept Council rule. The commander tried to keep his voice firm. "The Council seeks stability. Humans have become too strong. We cannot allow a threat near the core worlds." Elias gave a small, cold smile. "Your memory forgets the past," he said. "Humans do not seek war. But we do not kneel." Before the commander could respond, something strange happened. The lights dimmed. The air hummed. A sphere of soft white energy expanded from the human ship. It passed through walls, guards, scanners, through everything. And inside the hall, hidden records began to appear. Floating images flickered across the ceiling. Secret Council files, classified experiments, illegal conquests, brutal suppression of weaker species. The guards looked up in horror. Every dark truth the Council tried to bury was now shining across the room like a burning sun. The commander stepped back. "Stop this," he shouted. "What are you doing?" Elias didn't move. "The ship is revealing truth," he said. "No lies can hide near it." One of the Council scientists, pale and shaking, whispered, "This is impossible. How does the ship know our records?" Elias looked at him. "It does not read your records," he said. "It reads your actions." Those words hit the hall like thunder. The guards lowered their weapons, not in surrender, but in confusion, in shame. Images shifted again, this time showing how the Council had planned to control Earth long before the directive. Fear, jealousy, greed. Everything was exposed. The commander felt his knees weaken. Why are you showing us this?" Elias's eyes, calm and dark, focused on him. "Because the galaxy must understand," he said, "that Earth does not follow corrupted leaders." Around them, more images appeared. Scenes of lost battles, extinct worlds, broken promises, things the Council pretended never happened. Anger rose in the hall. Not at the human, but at the ones who had hidden the truth. Elias raised a hand, and the images faded. "The Council asked for control," he said. "But control must first prove itself worthy." He took a single step forward. "Earth has not come to fight. We came to warn." The commander felt his throat tighten. "Warn us of what?" Elias spoke slowly. "Do not repeat your past mistakes. Do not force the galaxy to bow. Do not attempt to rule through fear." A high-ranking officer stepped forward, fear in his eyes. "And if we refuse?" For a brief moment, the hall felt colder. Elias didn't threaten. He didn't raise his voice. He simply said, "Then the ship behind me will respond." Everyone turned toward the dark vessel outside the window. It floated silently, but the closer they looked, the more they felt something alive inside the metal. Something ancient, something powerful, something watching. The officer stepped back, trembling. The commander swallowed and asked the only question still burning in the hall. "What is that ship?" Elias turned his head slightly. "It is the judgment vessel." Silence. A silence that felt deeper than space itself. "It does not destroy," Elias continued. "It reveals. It corrects. It resets what is broken." Many guards understood the message. This ship wasn't a weapon. It was something far worse. A mirror that punished lies. Elias stepped toward the exit corridor. "The Council has one chance," he said. "Choose truth, or the galaxy will choose it for you." Without another word, he walked back toward the judgment vessel. The door sealed behind him. And Hub 7 realized one terrifying truth. Earth had not come to submit. Earth had come to judge. The news of the human envoy spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Every planet, every outpost, every hidden corner of space whispered the same words. Earth has returned. And with that return came fear. Inside the Galactic Council's central chamber, chaos ruled. Ambassadors shouted over one another, demanding answers, demanding action, demanding safety. Chancellor Vorex struck the crystal table so hard that cracks formed across its surface. "Silence!" he roared. The chamber went quiet, but fear still clung to every face. "We were humiliated," Vorex said. "A single human walked into our base, showed our secrets, and left untouched." Some members nodded. Some trembled. Some avoided his eyes. The Draxian ambassador finally spoke. "Perhaps we should listen to their warning." "Maybe." Vorex cut her off. "We do not bow to Earth. We never have. We never will." He turned to the military commanders standing along the wall. "Prepare a strike fleet. We will destroy the judgment vessel." A wave of shock spread through the chamber. "Destroy it? Are you mad? That ship disabled 72 warships without firing." But Vorex ignored them. "We are the Council. We cannot be threatened by one ship. Gather our strongest fleets. Use everything." The command was recorded, sealed, and sent to Fleet Command. Within hours, 5 massive armadas began to move, each one carrying enough firepower to crack planets open. At the same time, scientists were ordered to study the fragments of energy left behind by the judgment vessel's earlier pulses. What they discovered only deepened the mystery. "Chancellor," the lead scientist said, "the energy signature is not a weapon." Vorex frowned. "Then what is it?" "It behaves like correction energy. It forces systems into their natural state. It doesn't destroy. It resets." "Reset?" Vorex growled. "Explain." The scientist swallowed. "When our ships shut down, they didn't break. They rebooted. Every corrupted file was repaired. Every hidden protocol was removed. Every illegal modification vanished." Silence. An ambassador whispered. "So the ship didn't attack us. It cleaned our systems." A cold chill spread. The Council depended on corruption, secret programs, hidden codes, illegal control systems. The judgment vessel had erased them. The scientist continued, "If the ship touches our central network, it could erase all our secret files. The Council will lose power." Now Vorex understood the true danger. The ship wasn't here to fight. It was here to expose. Which, to the Council, was far worse. Vorex slammed his fist. "We launch the strike now." Across the stars, the 5 Council armadas formed a deadly wall. Cruisers, dreadnoughts, starbreakers, supercarriers. Thousands of ships surrounded the dark judgment vessel. Every gun pointed at the silent giant. Inside the Council command room, officers studied the screens with shaking hands. "The ship is not moving," one officer said. "It is ignoring us," another whispered. "Good," Vorex growled. "Fire on my command." The order echoed through the fleets. Weapons charged. Energy cores glowed. Massive cannons aligned. Across the galaxy, billions watched the live feed. The moment arrived. Vorex lifted his hand. Fire! A storm of light exploded across the void. Energy beams. Missile waves. Plasma arcs. Graviton cannons. Everything the Council had. The weapons tore through space toward the judgment vessel. The blast was so bright that even distant worlds saw the sky flash. But when the light faded, the judgment vessel still floated silently. Unmarked, untouched, unmoved. Every weapon had vanished before reaching its hull. The fleets trembled. Impossible! What did it do? Where did our attack go? Then the scanners updated. The attack wasn't destroyed. It was redirected. Behind the Council armadas. Far behind them. A dead star lit up for the first time in a million years. The judgment vessel had redirected every shot into the star's cold shell, reigniting it. The Council had fired enough power to destroy themselves. And the ship had answered by giving life. The chamber shook with panic. Vorex turned pale with rage. Fire again! No! The Draxian ambassador shouted. You will doom us. This ship is beyond our reach. Stop this madness. But Vorex was losing his mind. We are the Council. Earth cannot control us. At that moment, the judgment vessel finally reacted. A single beam of soft white light extended from its surface. Not toward the fleets. Not toward the Council worlds. But toward one location. The Council's capital station. Inside the chamber, alarms exploded. What is it doing? What does it want? Why here? The beam touched the main crystal table. In an instant, every lie the Council ever told, every hidden crime, every buried truth, every illegal order, appeared in glowing symbols above the table. Everyone in the chamber stared in shock and horror. The judgment vessel wasn't attacking. It was exposing. It was tearing the Council open from the inside. And the final line appearing in the air made the ambassadors freeze. Your rule ends today. The Galactic Council believed they had seen everything the galaxy could show. They were wrong. The arrival of Earth's first warship had already shaken every empire. But Part 6 begins with a fear none of them ever imagined. Deep inside the Council Hall, the delegates sat together with shaking hands. The chamber lights flickered as emergency power ran through the massive building. No one spoke. No one dared to. High Chancellor Voruan stood at the center table, staring at the silent hologram in front of him. A hologram that every mind in the room feared to activate again. The last message they received from Earth was still frozen on the screen. This is your final warning. Nothing more. Nothing less. The silence was heavy. It felt like a countdown. Ambassador Kethra broke the silence with a trembling voice. Are they coming? No one answered. But they all knew the truth. Earth did not bluff. Humans did not threaten without purpose. And the galaxy had pushed them too far. General Arekuin stood near the observation window, watching the stars beyond the Council world. His scales slowly darkened, a natural reaction to fear among his species. Something is wrong, he whispered. And then, it happened. A small tremor moved through the world. Not from the ground, but from space. The starfield outside shifted, as if someone was bending the horizon itself. High Chancellor Voruan rushed to the window. What is that? Is it a black hole? A supernova? No. General Arekuin breathed. This is worse. A ripple spread across the sky like a giant invisible wave. It wasn't natural. It wasn't cosmic. It was technology. Technology far beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. The ripple widened, forming a circular shape, a tear in space itself. Every delegate stepped back from the window. The tear glowed bright, brighter, brighter, until an outline appeared inside it. A shape. A massive shape. General Arekuin's voice cracked. That is a ship. The tear opened fully, and the first warship emerged. Sleek, black, silent, longer than a dreadnought, shaped like a spear designed to cut through reality. Then another ship slid out from the tear. Then a third. Then 10 more. The ripple expanded again, and more ships followed. Hundreds. Thousands. A fleet so large that it blocked out entire starfields. Chancellor Voruan fell into his chair. No species in the galaxy has this fleet size. None. Ambassador Kethra whispered. They said Earth was weak, isolated, broken. General Arekuin stared at the endless human ships filling the heavens. His voice dropped to a whisper. We were wrong. We were all wrong. Suddenly every device in the council hall turned on by itself. Screens. Holograms. Even personal comm units. They all showed the same thing. A spinning symbol. The symbol of Earth. A deep voice echoed through the room. Calm and steady. Deadly steady. This is Commander Eric Vale of the Terran Defense Fleet. Every delegate froze. We are entering your system. Do not resist. Chancellor Voruan tried to speak, but his voice cracked. Why so many ships? We only spoke to one warship before. We thought humans had only a few. Silence followed. Then the voice returned. You saw only what we allowed you to see. The delegates felt the air grow cold. We warned you, the human commander continued. We asked you to stay away. We asked for peace. You answered with threats and demands. The signal paused. Now you will understand why Earth does not bow. The human fleet moved with impossible precision. Every ship took formation like they shared one mind. Lines, rows, patterns, shapes. Not one vessel drifted out of place. Not one thruster misfired. Ambassador Kethra felt her legs weaken. This is not normal control. This is mastery. The Council's top military strategist, Admiral Levesque, stepped forward with a shaking datapad. This fleet, even if every empire joined forces, we cannot fight this. Then what do we do? Voruan asked. Admiral Levesque closed his eyes. We pray. The human flagship appeared last, larger than all the others. A behemoth with no visible weapons, which made it even more terrifying. Chancellor Voruan whispered, "Why build a ship that size with no weapons?" General Arekuan answered without taking his eyes off the window. Because a predator does not need to show its teeth. The flagship slowly turned until it faced the Council world. The Terran space behind it sealed shut, leaving the sky filled only with human metal. Then the signal returned one more time. "Galactic Council," the human commander said. "We will speak soon." The screen turned black. The entire hall sat frozen. Not a word. Not a breath. Only fear. The fleet outside did not fire. It did not threaten. It simply waited. And somehow, that was more terrifying than any attack. The human fleet filled the sky like a metal storm. Thousands of silent ships. All waiting. No engines rumbling. No weapons glowing. Just quiet. A deadly, calm quiet. Inside the Galactic Council hall, no one dared to speak. The delegates stood frozen, staring at the enormous human flagship. A ship bigger than anything they had imagined. High Chancellor Voruan felt sweat running down his neck. He had led the galaxy for 30 years. But today, he felt like a child standing before a giant. "What do they want?" he whispered. The silence answered him. Then, everything changed. Every screen in the galaxy lit up at once. From mining moons to royal palaces. From war stations to farming villages. All saw the same transmission. A human. Commander Eric Vale. Focused. Eyes sharp like someone who had seen 100 wars. And survived all of them. "This message is for the Galactic Council," he began. "But every world will hear it." Everyone held their breath. "You believed Earth was weak. You believed we were alone. You believed we would kneel." The room felt colder. "You saw one ship and thought that was our limit. You were wrong." The camera shifted, showing the endless fleet behind him. Rows of ships stretching beyond sight. "This is only one battle group," he said. A shockwave passed through the entire council hall. "One," Admiral Levesque whispered. "Then how many do they have?" Commander Vale continued. "You threatened our home. You tried to corner us. You tried to control us." He paused. "We will not allow that." Chancellor Voruan slammed his hand on the table. "Someone speak. We need a plan. We cannot fight them." Ambassador Kethra cried. "They destroyed the Neruan armada in minutes." General Arekuan shook his head slowly. "No, they didn't destroy it. That was just one ship. And even then, they held back." The room fell silent again. The fear was turning into something heavier. Regret. Admiral Levesque finally stood. "We must talk. We must negotiate. There is no other way." The Chancellor swallowed hard. "Then call the humans." But he didn't have to. Because the humans called them first. A bright pillar of light appeared in the center of the hall. Not a teleport. Not a projection. Something else. Something more advanced. And then, a human figure stepped out of it. Commander Eric Vale himself. The guards raised weapons, but he didn't react. He simply walked forward, calm and controlled. "Put those away," he said. "If I wanted you harmed, you would never have seen me arrive." Every guard lowered their weapon instantly. Chancellor Voruan forced himself to stand. Commander Vale, why have you brought such a fleet? Why surround our world? We expected diplomacy. Commander Vale nodded. This is diplomacy. The Chancellor blinked. Diplomacy? This looks like invasion. If we wanted to invade, the commander replied, your world would already be dust. A deep silence followed. Commander Vale placed a small device on the council table. It projected a spinning image of the Milky Way. Your council has ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years, he said. You believed humans were newcomers. Weak. Primitive. Alone. He tapped the device. The map expanded, showing dozens of systems around Sol. We built colonies long before you noticed us. We built fleets long before you threatened us. He tapped again. The map zoomed out, revealing multiple human-controlled sectors, some larger than entire empires. Chancellor Voruan felt his heart freeze. You hid all of this? We did not hide, Commander Vale answered. We simply stayed quiet, because we wanted peace. He paused. But you forced our hand. Commander Vale leaned forward. This is our answer. Every delegate waited, shaking. Earth will not join your council. Earth will not obey your orders. Earth will not be controlled. He raised a hand. In fact, the Galactic Council is finished. Gasps filled the chamber. You failed to protect worlds. You failed to keep peace. You used power to threaten instead of help. He pointed to the window. And now the galaxy knows it. Chancellor Voruan collapsed back into his chair. You can't do this. We hold authority. But we hold the power, Commander Vale said. And today, all worlds will choose who to follow. A new broadcast appeared in the sky outside. Hundreds of worlds. Thousands of satellites. Millions watching. Commander Vale's voice echoed across space. Worlds of the galaxy, choose your future. One by one, planets sent their signals. First a small mining world, then a farming moon, then a trade station, then dozens more, then hundreds, all repeating the same message. We choose Earth. The council looked broken, defeated, powerless. Commander Vale turned to them. This is the end of your rule. He walked back toward the pillar of light. But it is not the end of the galaxy. He stepped inside the beam and began to fade. Earth will lead with strength. Earth will defend the weak. Earth will keep peace. He vanished. The beam closed. And the human fleet slowly began to turn away, forming a path across the stars. The galaxy had made its choice. Earth was now the new power. And nothing would ever be the same again.